I ask you to judge me by the enemies I have made. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Democracy cannot succeed unless those who express their choice are prepared to choose wisely. The real safeguard of democracy, therefore, is education. We have always held to the hope, the belief, the conviction that there is a better life, a better world beyond the horizon. It is common sense to take a method and try it. If it fails, admit it frankly and try another. But above all, try something. To reach a port, we must sail. Sail, not tie at anchor. Sail, not drift. Be sincere, be brief, be seated. Let us never forget that government is ourselves and not an alien power over us. The ultimate rulers of our democracy are not a president and senators and congressmen and government officials, but the voters of this country. Human kindness has never weakened the stamina or softened the fiber of a free people. A nation does not have to be cruel to be tough. True individual freedom cannot exist without economic security and independence. People who are hungry and out of a job are the stuff of which dictatorships are made. The truth is found when men are free to pursue it. Competition has been shown to be useful up to a certain point and no further, but cooperation, which is the thing we must strive for today, begins where competition leaves off. The virtues are lost in self-interest as rivers are lost in the sea. The only sure bulwark of continuing liberty is a government strong enough to protect the interests of the people, and a people strong enough and well enough informed to maintain its sovereign control over the government. Physical strength can never permanently withstand the impact of spiritual force. When you see a rattlesnake poised to strike, you do not wait until he has struck to crush him. A nation that destroys its soils destroys itself. Forests are the lungs of our land, purifying the air and giving fresh strength to our people. If you treat people right, they will treat you right, 90% of the time. Nobody will ever deprive the American people of the right to vote except the American people themselves, and the only way they could do this is by not voting. There is nothing I love as much as a good fight. The point in history at which we stand is full of promise and danger. The world will either move forward toward unity and widely shared prosperity, or it will move apart. The overwhelming majority of Americans are possessed of two great qualities, a sense of humor and a sense of proportion. This generation of Americans has a rendezvous with destiny. A reactionary is a somnambulist walking backwards. Prosperous farmers mean more employment, more prosperity for the workers and the businessmen of every industrial area in the whole country. I believe that in every country the people themselves are more peaceably and liberally inclined than their governments. War is a contagion. Here is my principle. Taxes shall be levied according to ability to pay. That is the only American principle. When you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and hang on. Happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. A conservative is a man with two perfectly good legs who, however, has never learned how to walk forward. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have little. I'm not the smartest fellow in the world, but I can sure pick smart colleagues. I think we consider too much the good luck of the early bird and not enough the bad luck of the early worm. Men are not prisoners of fate, but only prisoners of their own minds. There are as many opinions as there are experts. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. Rules are not necessarily sacred. Principles are. Confidence thrives on honesty, on honor, on the sacredness of obligations, on faithful protection, and on unselfish performance. Without them, it cannot live. If civilization is to survive, we must cultivate the science of human relationships, the ability of all peoples of all kinds to live together in the same world at peace. There is a mysterious cycle in human events. To some generations, much is given. Of other generations, much is expected. This generation of Americans has a rendezvous with destiny. It is fun to be in the same decade with you. We are trying to construct a more inclusive society. We are going to make a country in which no one is left out. Self-interest is the enemy of all true affection. It isn't sufficient just to want. You've got to ask yourself what you're going to do to get the things you want. Remember, you are just an extra in everyone else's play. I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people. In our personal ambitions, we are individualists. But in our seeking for economic and political progress as a nation, we all go up or else all go down as one people. One thing is sure, we have to do something. We have to do the best we know how at the moment. If it doesn't turn out right, we can modify it as we go along. It takes a long time to bring the past up to the present. I do not look upon these United States as a finished product. We are still in the making. The United States Constitution has proved itself the most marvelously elastic compilation of rules of government ever written. It is the duty of the President to propose, and it is the privilege of the Congress to dispose.